Welcome back, guys. Have an episode here for Chris Williamson. This country is failing because of its fathers and husbands.
The importance of fatherhood. You got
I have 7 children.
7 children.
Yeah.
What have you learned about the importance of fatherhood?
All right. I believe God made man. Okay. And God created man, and God gave man the word. And the word at that time was, don't eat of the fruit of those 2 trees. Okay. That was a symbol. That's all the word God gave man at that time. Then God gave man a work. And the work was, he said, take care of this garden. And then God gave man a woman to help the man. Okay. That man and then the woman God gave him, that became a marriage. And then that man and wife had children. And those children had children, and then there became governments. Okay? You see where I'm going? In this country was founded as a Christian country. This is what I believe. People can do whatever. I believe that this country is only as strong as the churches. Even our founding father says America will remain great as long as America is good. When America ceases to be good, America will cease to be great.
We're in deep shit then.
This country is only as strong as the churches in this country. The churches are only as strong as the families that make up those churches. Those families are only as strong as the marriages that those families are built on, and those marriages are only as strong and good as the man that God built the marriages on. As goes the man, so goes the marriage. As goes the marriage, so goes the family. As goes the family, so goes the churches. As goes the churches, so goes the country. Everything is built on the husband and the father. And this country is a failure today because the fathers and the husbands have failed.
How?
Preach.
Failing to be the example they need to be, failing to be the leaders they need to be, failing to be the disciplinarians that they need to be.
I think we're fallen in a sense because we've enslaved ourselves with hedonism, with consumerism and materialism. That's what it is. A man today would rather indulge in all those vices, adult entertainment, things like that, than to elevate himself beyond those base animal instincts. And I think millions of men are in that position. So the country has started backsliding into the hellish, landscape that it's become today in all facets, when it's called earning money, dating, marriage, governance. Everything he's talking about has backslid because man has chosen the easy way out. And more of us are choosing those easy way out. You could see them in the comments. Oh, what's the point? Why try? I give up. Let the system burn. All that stuff. That's millions of men voicing their distaste for the system, yet they themselves are the ones that are hastening its fall by not elevating beyond, holding yourself accountable. The whole self-improvement thing isn't just for you. It affects, downstream things like your neighborhood, your state, your country, right? Not just your family, not just yourself.
Failing to be the providers that they need to be. If you don't have the backbone as a husband and as a father to be the bad guy, you've got no business being a father or a husband. There's times when you have to know, this is not a good direction for my marriage, for my family. And everybody's going to be mad at me. My wife is going to be mad at me. My kids are going to hate me. But in the long run, this is a very bad direction, and I'm putting my foot down, and we're not doing that. And you become the bad guy. But you do it for the long-term strength and safety of the family. And we've lost that. We've lost that in this country to a very large degree. And so I think, our next generation is going to run the politics. They're going to run the finances. They're going to run the judicial system, everything in this country. And they're going to be the result in a very large degree. And there's going to be those who don't agree with this, but they're going to be the result of whatever their fathers made them or whatever they become because they didn't have a father. And so I think fatherhood is paramount.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's paramount.
Why do you think the decline has accelerated so much as you could plot on the graph the increase in single parent households, single mother households? Exactly how in the West we celebrate single mothers. You can plot on the graph crime rates, homelessness, drug abuse, worse outcomes overall across the board. Literally at almost like a linear fashion, 1-to-1. The higher the increase in all those causes as well.
For the future of a society.
Speaking of doing things that make your family mad at you, I heard that you didn't let your daughters date until they were in their late teens. Is this right?
Right.
And that you grilled the potential suitors when they started dating them?
Every boy had to come to me.
Tell me the process. Tell me the story there.
Well, they would come, the boys would come, hey, you wanna, and she was taught, you got to go talk to daddy. We don't even talk about this. You go talk to daddy. 2 of my son-in-laws today, for years, they would come. It's like, I'd like to, and they'd come to me and they're like, I'd like to, write your daughter. I'd like to, I'm like, no, nope. Well, what about this? No. Why not? It's like, look, you're a good kid, but my problem with you is you're a kid. All right. Grow up. And 2 of my son-in-laws, there were literally years. They kept coming back, and I'm like, no. Let me see what kind of man you're going to become. Okay? My daughter's not marrying a boy. And a lot of boys, they grow up to not be good men, so why let her get into an emotional attachment with a boy who will never grow up?
That's so cute.
And why am I not protecting her from that heartache in the future? And both of them now are married to my daughters. But there came a point years later, I'm like, okay, I've watched you.
This is why so many men or women struggle to pick good men. Do you see what happens when you have a father present like him? Do you see how he's vetting all the boys? He knows he used to be a boy once. You can't get past his bullshit detector. Look at the protection that women are missing today by not having this situation, this setup, this traditional style family in play anymore in the modern world. So much heartache, so much emotional damage could be avoided if we went back to these old ways. You see?
All right. You grew up. You can contact my daughter now.
How did that go down with the daughter?
And that's so different than the bumbling idiot that we have on the modern family shows where the husband is completely fucking useless and the woman is like the head of the household and she's all strong and independent. Such liberal dog shit that they put on TV. This is what a successful husband looks like, a successful father. And look at the successful marriages his children are in for the exact reason that he had a heavy hand in the entire process because he does know better. It's crazy, man.
I don't know. They wouldn't come fuss to me. But I think my daughters appreciated knowing they had a father who was not just looking out for them today, their feelings today, their whatever, but looking out for their entire future and putting them on the right road. I brought a man in my office one time and I had a desk along the wall. We sat down in front of the desk. He was sitting in front of me. I pulled out the middle drawer in my desk, pulled out a Bowie knife about that long, slammed it on the desk between us. I said, do you have any questions? He said, no, sir. No, sir, I don't have any questions. I said, all right, then. Put it back in the drawer, closed it, and we got up and left. They never had any questions. My daughters are married. All my daughters that are married to good men.
You hear that?
Good men. And I've told every one of them at the wedding, I pulled every one of them at the wedding aside. I said, if you ever hurt her, they will never find your body. I said, there will be no court. There will be no, what they call it? You go down and you swear out you can't come in with so many, protective order. I said, it won't be any of that. If you ever hurt her, they won't find your body. She'll be my daughter to the day she dies. And they all know. Everybody knows. It's just like, and I think they appreciate it. And I'm
sure they appreciated that on the wedding day. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't tell them. He may have later, but that's okay. But I think there's a lot of women out there would just say, man, I wish I'd had somebody in my life that had that kind of
protection. Do you see the difference between that lifestyle, strong, independent, Sex in the City, all that bullshit versus this? This is what they took away from them. They don't even know it. That's crazy.
To my safety and to my future.
Why do people think that you were saying that? Is it because you're a tyrant? Is it because you wanted to domineer over your daughters' lives? Or is it because you love them and you want the best for them and you want them to be safe and protected and happy?
Just that, because I'm not. Every one of my children, when they got married, you're adults. And I never interfere in their decisions. Never. I never say, you can't go here, you should do that. I never tell their husband, you should get this job, you should do that. We don't interfere in how they raise their children. My children are not raising their children the way I raised them. I never say anything about it. You're an adult. I raised you to be an adult. You're a parent. Those children are your children. I'm not a tyrant at all. But they know from a distance, Zeus is looking from Olympia and he will throw that thunderbolt down if somebody tries. They know that it's like Dad's always there. He's never meddling. He's never in the way. He's never in our affairs. But if he's always there, if we ever need him.
What do you think were the most important lessons that you taught your kids? Or what do you hope that your kids learned?
Your word. Your word is your bond. Don't lie. Mm-hmm. Now I would go to jail for this today, but my kids are grown and gone. We had a deal in the house, and it's like, and I spanked my children. Okay, there it is. There's a set penalty for breaking this rule. If you break the rule, you're going to get that penalty. If you lie about it, the penalty is doubled. So it's like my boys, it's like, you don't hit girls. You don't hit girls. All right. And so, if they haul off and smack, their sister comes in, he hit me. She's crying, there's a red mark on the side of her face. Call him in. It's like, did you hit her? Now, if it's proven that he did hit her, there's going to be like 15 licks. I mean, the penalty was severe. You don't hit women. All right. If he said, no, I didn't hit her. Oh, son, don't do that. No, I didn't hit her. And then two of the other siblings come in and say, he did. We saw it. Well, he got the 15 licks for hitting his sister, but he got 30 licks for lying about it. So he got 45 licks total. It's like lying is the worst thing. Do not lie. Go through life. You be honest. You speak the truth, even to your harm, even to your detriment. You do not lie, and you don't hit women.
How much better would America be if these were the average fathers?
So don't lie.
Don't lie. Your word is a man's most valuable, most important resource is his good name. If a man ain't got a good name, he ain't got nothing. So don't lie. Be respectful. Be respectful to others. Be respectful to your elders. Even if they're not respectable, they still been through life enough. Their position earns them what their behavior won't.
Beautiful episode. World would be a better place if that's what the average father looked like, honestly. This man is one of the few real ones on the internet. I get the idea that young men need to step up, etc. But where are the women calling out women who are actively misandrist and filing divorce at 70, 90%? It's the but what about stuff. Again, I understand what he's saying, but that's not even the point of this. It all starts because the man is the head of the household. So where are the men that then caused this failure loop of the princess syndrome, of the soft courts with biases for women, of not holding everyone accountable, not just themselves, the behaviors of women, the behaviors of other men. So it all stems from the man. This is the whole point that he's saying. And see, we have one of these. It says he's mostly right. Unfortunately, if a man puts his foot down, he's called an abusive narcissist. She divorces him, takes the kids, half his wealth. Again, that happens at the behest of a male-run society. Who runs the courts? Who made the laws? Who got into a relationship with an abusive narcissist? Who raised the woman to be the abusive narcissist? You see what I'm saying? It all stems from men and fathers who raised her to have the princess complex, to not value what men are good for, to not see men in relationships as, I guess how feminism would call them, detriments instead of a positive force for good, allowing men to lead, to be head of households, not fighting him, not being combative, not, disturbing the peace, questioning his leadership, all that stuff. Where does that stem from? Who taught them to be that way? It's not, you're not born to be this combative and adversarial with your partner. Somebody instilled it into what content are you consuming? Who's allowing these shows up on TV, right? Where is the bulwark for all this like cultural rot, degeneration in society? Men are allowing society to fall to the wayside like this. At what? At the helm of profit. That's what it is, guys. We value profit as men today over good character, values, morals, all the above. And that's unfortunately the direction all society is headed in. Thoughts on this episode? Appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you haven't already, subscribe to the second channel, man. Check out some of the videos there. Join us in the private community for the calls. We do them 5 times a week. And shout out to everybody that's been doing the private consults as well. It's been a blast talking to you guys. The links are all in the description below. And we'll see you on the next one. Take care, everybody.